Hi, I'm Sue Boo bringing crafting to you, and today I'm going to be doing the second part of the paper pumpkin. So what I've started, I made a box for the actual stamp set to fit in, and now I want to make a box for the embellishments. Now I've started because it's exactly the same as I have showed you how to make the box, and I will just give you the measurements of the base. So the base measures 7.5 by 9.5, and you score that at half and 1.25 on all four sides, and then assemble the book. Hiya Valerie, how are you? And assemble your boxes I've shown you, and then the DSP for the inside of the box measures 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. So I've already started to make the inside bits, but so that if you're not sure about how to assemble the box again, I'm going to make the lid with you. So you will make the base and the lid. So you'll make the base and the lid exactly the same. So I'm just going to show you how to make this. So the lid measures 7 9/16 by 9 9/16, and we're going to score that exactly the same as you would do the base. So I've already cut my piece, and so we're going to score this at a half first of all. So we'll do a half on all four sides. So I'm going to do a half on all four sides. Oh, I've done it. This just annoys me when the blade drops out, and because you're doing it, it didn't score, it cut. So I'm going to see if I can get away with that, because it is going to be my board. So that's annoying because I don't know whether I've got any. Yes, I have. So I'm going to have to cut another piece now, and then I'm going to cut my blade, take my blade out. Oh no. Let's see, have I got another piece? Yeah, I think I've got one more piece of magenta. How fortunate, because that's a part bit. So that's so annoying. It's worn as it's gone backwards and forwards. See how that's got like a little bit at the edge. This side has really worn, so it tends to drop out of my and because you're doing it fast, you don't realise that you've picked up your blade instead of your thing. Right, so 9 9/16. So 9 9/16. I'm going to cut that 9 9/16, and then 7 9/16. So that's 7 9/16. Right, and now I'm going to take my blade out because I can't afford that to happen again. So I'll start again with actually scoring again at 1/2 inch, did I say? Yes, so 1/2 inch. It's because you tend to do it very fast and you just don't look at it, you just feel. So See, it's flicked out again, and that would have been prime example of me picking that up again, my blade up again, and it doing that to me. That's it, and there we go. It's gone again. Done it, yeah. And then this is 1 1/4 now. So this is 1 1/4. And so 1 1/4. 1 1/4. And 1 1/4. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. Although I make this, when I'm making a lid, I make it 1 1/16 bigger on 2 sides, so that it makes the lid that little bit bigger than the base. But also, when I score, instead of going, I'm just going to show you, instead of going all the way up to the 1 1/4, so you're going exactly at 1 1/4, I pull back slightly, just very slightly, and that will just again give you well, I mean, really, it is 2 distinctive colours. So there's a darker brown and a greyish brown, very light, this one, but they feel exactly the same. And when you're just scoring, you just do it, and so you just feel it, and you just feel for your what you're thinking is your score blade, and you just run it. And the amount of times that has happened to me, because that one has dropped out. The thing is, they sell replacements of these, but they do not sell replacements of the scoring one, which that's what I could do with, because of it being too loose and falling out. I might actually ask Stampin' Up! If they will start to do that, because it really is a nuisance when you that happens to you, that it drops out and then you cut it. And the amount of times I've done that, because I tend to do it fast and don't look. Perhaps if I did it slowly and just double checked, but when I'm doing that, I just do it and I've done it. So it wouldn't matter if it was a different colour, because I just still do it. It drops out is the problem of it. So I'm just going to crease over with my bone folder those score marks. And as I say, you do the base exactly the same as this, but I didn't want you to have to, after showing you how to do it on an earlier video, you can just check back on that video and redo it with that. So what I tend to do is the first score line I go to and just wedge. So I've just wedged slightly there, and then yeah, I agree, but I'd still do it, Valerie, because I don't look. It's not that I see that in my vision when I'm doing it. I just feel for it. So, and because it feels exactly the same, it just does it. Right, so what I've done is I've cut down the score line and I've notched either side and I've taken off. Then I spin round and I'm doing exactly the same. I notch in at that end, notch in to the first score line, and then cut down the second score line, and then notch in the whole length of it, and then just cut off the top bit of the tab, and so that gives you the wedge. I haven't quite cut down on that one. And then you spin it and you wedge the second bit and wedge this to the first score line, then cut down the second score line, wedge your tabs and then cut off the top, turn it round, cut in to make your wedge, finish that off, that's it, and again wedge in to the first score line, cut down the second score line till you get to that score line, wedge in either side and then cut off the top bit because you don't need that. Make sure you get rid of that and then turn it around, and this is my last one, so I'm just going to wedge down to there. Okay, so just move my bits out of the way, and then because this is the lid, I am now going to measure. This is how I do mine. I'm now going to measure what the box lid actually is now. So that's just slightly over 5, so it's 5 1/16. So I'm going to make my DSP, so I'm going to write this down because I haven't wrote this down. So the DSP is going to be 4 15/16 by, so we'll look at the other side, and the other side is 7 1/16, so I'm going to make that 6 15/16. So that's a 6, let me put that in there. Okay, so I'm using this 3DSP paper that we've got, and so I'm going to go to my 6 15/16. So that is 1 mark before the 7. So that's your 1 mark before your 7. And then I'm going to spin it, and then it's going to be 4 15/16, and that is 1 mark before the 5. So pop those out of the way and just get rid of that for the moment. And then I'm going to glue this because it's easier to glue it on while your box lid is flat. So I'm going to glue it on here. So I just think this coordinates and stands out really well against the magenta Madness paper, because it's a really cerise pink, and the black background of this paper, it just looks so beautiful with it. I just really love it. So I'm going to put that in there, making sure that I've got an equal amount all the way around, and then that's easier, just to press that down so that it goes on top of the box like that. So now I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to use my tearing tape today. It doesn't really matter if you use tearing tape or the really strong red tape. So I'm doing right up to the score line, just like I was doing before, just cutting off and spinning round. Do it right up to the score line, but not on the score line. I'm only going right up to that score line, and again right up to the score line, and then cut off and right up to the score line there. And then we're going to turn it over, and this time we need to do right up to the edge. So once I've done it, I will pick it up and show you what I mean, because this is what holds it down while the glue sets. So I'll just show you that again. So this time I'm not putting it on the score line, I'm putting it right by the edge of the paper, so that when you've put your glue on this bit, you turn it over, it will help to hold it down while your glue sets. Oh, just making sure I get as close as possible to that edge. Oops, I thought I'd finished then, and I hadn't. And then this one here. I just don't like my kits getting in a mess, and when you've taken out the embellishments from their card, or even if you try and keep them in the card, going in and out of the box all the time and virtualing through stuff, you just get in a messed up, and that's when they can get dogged and get spoiled. So if you do an embellishment box, then you can keep them in there and it stops them from that happening. So again, I'm just going to rub along my tape to adhere it to the card, and make sure I've done this on these too. That's it. And then I'll start off by picking out the card release tape, and then I put glue on the rest of the tab. So I've got the tab there, I'm putting glue on the rest of the tab, and then I'm just going to make sure that I line that up nicely with that edge and just press down, move on to the next one. And because you've got the tear and tape holding it in place, that allows the glue to set and hold the box lid firmly in place. So again, just making sure that I get that nice and again putting my glue, put it in there, that, and then the last bit for this, putting in my glue, and making sure I've got that nice lined up edge before I pinch it together. Okay, and then release your tape on each of these. And if you've well burnished it down, then you shouldn't have any problem. Right, I'm only going to release two before I start to stick it down. So I'm sticking glue before the tape, so it's not on the tape, it's before the tape. And then I'm going to press that down inside and then go over with my bone folder just to give that a nice firm edge. Again, put the glue before the tape. That just holds it down. Push that down, and then again go along with your bone folder, so that's making a nice crisp edge. I'm going to fetch this tape off and repeat. And then put that one on there. And then the last one, and just put that glue there, and then we put that down, and then just go along with your bone folder. Now you could line this one with the DSP if you wanted to. I'm choosing not to at this point. I could go back into that and do that later. So you do both the same. and then you just always test to make sure that your box lid does fit. Now I haven't done any grip holes, so I'm just gonna check whether just gonna see whether I can actually get this one in or not. I can if I bend it back. So I'm just going to stick my finger holes in the sides. So it's good to have your finger holes to just get that little bit there, and so that it fits on, and then it's easier to get in there and undo it. Now the lining of the DSP, so for the base of the box, in case I didn't tell you this, the DSP for the base is 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. Then I have lined all the way round the side, which is 2 at 4 7/8 by 5/8 of an inch. So you want 2 of those for down either side, which will be those sides, sorry. And then your 6 7/8 will be for these sides, again by 5/8. You'll need 2 of them. Right, now normally I don't line the bottom first. I would put my dividers in, and then I would place the actual DSP on top. However, for you being able to see at home, magenta on top of magenta is not very easy for you to see, whereas because I've got it on a dark background, you're going to be able to see more clearly where I've put the dividers. So I'm just going to take out my embellishments and my dividers now, and then you'll be able to see as I go along. In fact, I'll leave that one in first. Just take these out and those out and my leaves out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this one. So the top divider measures 4 15/16 by 2 1/4. And then I've scored at 1/2 inch, 1 1/8 and 1 3/4. And then I've burnished this so that you've got a valley fold, a mountain fold, and then a valley fold again. And all you do is you can stick some tear and tape. So I think I'm going to do that again, because I normally don't. I normally just put glue in here, but for the sake of not being able to let it dry properly, I'm going to actually stick my tear and tape on it and the glue in the middle. So I'm just going to stick the tear and tape on there, and then come in with my glue to put on the top, and then just press those together, and then just go over with my bone folder so that that gives it a nice edge. Now again, I'd put, in fact I am going to do it with glue because I'm going to give myself that bit of wiggle room. So the cross section that's going to be, so that's the top section, and then I'm going to have this bottom part. So I'm going to put the bottom part together first. So this measures, they will all measure in width, they will all measure 2 1/4. So this measures 4 7/8 by 2 1/4, and again exactly the same, scoring a 1/2 inch, 1 1/8 and 3 3/4, and exactly the same. We'll do the valley fold, the mountain fold, and the valley fold again, and exactly as I did before, I'm going to stick my tear and tape on there, and I'm going to stick that at the top so it sticks on the top there. So this will keep my fold together. my fingers down, that's bunched it together. Unpeel that, and then we'll stick the glue on the bottom half. And then press those two together and go down with your bone folder, and that's going to be in there. So I'm just going to lightly position them first, and then I'll come in and I will put them properly. So this measures 2 1/8. No, I think it, yeah, I think this would have measured 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. Oh, that's right, yeah, they do all measure 2 1/4, don't they? By 2 1/2, this one. Exactly the same scores as before, and we crease them in a valley, a mountain, and a valley again. And so put some tear and tape on here. Put that on there, and just go over with my finger. That's adhered it properly to the card. And then if I'd have got my pokey tool out, it'd have been easier. And then put my glue in this bottom bit, and then adhere these together again. Go over with your bone folder, and that's going to be the ones I want in there. Okay, and then one last one. So 2 1/4, this measures by 2 inches, scored at the same as what I've been telling you. And again, we're going valley, mountain, valley, and we'll put our tear and tape on here, right near the top, near the fold, so this will hold it together while the glue sets. And take off the release tape, and then we're going to put the glue on the top. Again, press it together, use your bone folder, and that's got those in position. Right, now this is where I should have taken a photograph. That one goes in there, doesn't it? Right, so they roughly go like this. There should there be one more? How did I have it? So the one part is going to be where the labels fit. So this top part is going to be where my labels fit and my mini dimensionals, and then that part's going to be for the leaves. This part is going to be for the pineapples, and then this part is going to be divided up between the sun and the lemons. So this is how I do it. So I get my things in position, and then I'll take one of them out. I'll take all this out. So I'll leave this in position, and then I'm just going to glue all the way down on this. Now, with it being wet glue, I'm going to have that bit of wiggle room to be able to move this if it's not in the right position. So I'm going to slot that in, and it's going to go underneath that piece. I'm not actually pressing this down at the moment because I might need to move it. So the next narrow one where the leaves are going to be. So I'm just going to get my labels, because I'm going to put this on top and just see whereabouts my labels need to fit, plus that. So that's about there. So now I can press this down and into position because I've got those in position now. So I can press my 2 dividers down. Now, as I say, what I would then do is once I put those dividers in, I would just have a look from the box edge roughly to the first divider, and I would look to making that just 1/8 of an inch smaller. So I would actually put some DSP in that would be 1 3/4 by, that's about 2, so 1 1/8, and then I would cut a piece of DSP and I would stick it on the top there. Then I would go to my next one and square up my box. So this is just over 3 1/8, so I'd probably make that 3, and then that should be the same width as the other one that we did there, which roughly is about 2 inches, that would be. And I would put my paper in there. So now I'm going to pop in my leaves, so I can put in my leaves now. But because I've put my DSP on the top, bottom, I'm going to leave it for the moment, but I will probably go in back at a later date and put DSP on the top. But it makes it better, as I say, for you saying the magenta madness against the dark paper. This is a free one in celebration again, so I'm using the free DSP. I think it's Fields of Flowers, this one's called. So I'm going to take this divider out and the main divider now for where it divides the fruit and sun from the pineapple. So I'm going to leave my pineapple there because it's going to help me see whereabouts it needs to be. So I'm going to lift up my pineapples, get this straight, and I'm not going to press it down completely yet. I'm going to put my sun in, and I'm going to put some glue on the last part of the divider and pop that underneath the sun. So we've got it going underneath the sun. So make sure it's straight. That could have come over a little bit by the looks of things, so I'm going to push that over. And then I've got some glue splitters, so I'm just going to wipe my fingers and this glue wipes off. So just have to keep working at it and it'll ball off like that, so that will not leave a sticky mess. So just make sure you've got that in the right position, and then we can put our lemons back in there, our sun's in the bottom, our pineapples there. So that is the embellishments and also the iridescent what do you call it? Sequins, that's it, I couldn't think of those. You also got some glue dots with this. I've taken the glue dots out and I've put them in with something else at the moment, keeping all my glue dots together. But that's the inside of the box with all your embellishments, and then the lid fits on beautifully, so this will store in your box. So now you're going to be able to pick up whatever I've done with it. Oh, there it is. You're going to be able to pick out your stamp set very easily from the box, and also you'll be able to pick out your embellishments, and you've got your cards and envelopes. Now I have kept, so these will fit. I worked it out. I made the actual dividers a little lower so that I could stick the black layers that you put on top. When they're in the big format, I will just be able to leave them on the top. As they go smaller, they'll fit into my pockets. But they fit in there so that you're not going to spoil any of your card. It will keep nice and neat. And I cut some off the card I made just not yes, was it yesterday or the day before? Can't remember now. But the piece that I got, so any spare bits that are cut off will go into my embellishment box so that I've got it all together, keeping nice and neat. And now there's another piece. So I'll keep that all. So that keeps that really nice. And so far I haven't thrown these away because I am thinking about cutting the outside of these out, as I might offset. So I'm seeing if it's going to work. So for instance, cut out the edge and it might just offset on a card. I'm not 100% decided, so that's why I've not thrown any of them away yet. Also, if you've got wider areas, you can often get a label out. This doesn't look as though you've got really any areas that you could put any sentiments on, but I've not thrown those away. That was what I did from the sunshine, so again that's going into my embellishment box, so that keeps it all tidy and stops you from messing up until you've used all your kit up. And then of course you're able to use this to place other embellishments from other kits in as well, because I'm sure the space that you've got will fit some of them in. Or I'd make another embellishment box to fit them in. So it won't, I've not made it to actually fit in the paper pumpkin box like that. Because the paper pumpkin box in time will disappear and I will be left with the embellishment boxes. So I've not made it to fit in, apart from the thickness of my two boxes will fit in with the lid closed. So that's how I've thought about the design there. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was useful, just a way that I do my crafting. And I'll show you another box that I've done. This was a card kit. This was not an inclusive one. This was called a project kit. And you got this beautiful box. There is a new one in the new catalogue, and the new annual catalogue. Exactly the same box, but not obviously the same prints. It's completely different. In fact, it's absolutely stunning. You usually have to buy a stamp set extra, and of course you wouldn't get your blocks in with these. In a full inclusive kit you'll get your blocks in with them, as well as stamps. Having said that, the paper pumpkin, if you were in the United States, Canada, or I think or abroad, not in Europe, you can buy this on a monthly basis, and the very first one you buy they give you a stamping block with it. However, they've not done that with England's and European ones, because they do bring the stamping block, and you do get everything you need to make in the kit. So the only thing you need is the stamping block, really. But anyway, this box, I have made boxes to fit in. So I've made the little box that I've got the sentiment, and I've added other from other kits. I've got some of the cord, and there's also some little flowers in there in the bottom. That came with, I've got some spare DSP little bits that would be useful for just making cards, putting on your cards. Then I've got these two boxes that fit in. These, some of this did come with the kit, because it was some birds I've added a few other embellishments in there, and then my main box that I've put a few more different embellishments from different kits, but it had this beautiful, forgot the name of the paper, can't think what the name of the paper is. Vellum, sorry, vellum. And I didn't want to get my vellum sheets messed up, so I made this box to fit them in, and it had got some slimline, again some vellum paper, and I didn't want it to get spoilt, so I made these, and then I can keep dipping in and out of these, and I'll often go to have a look what's in my, they're the dimensionals. I often go back into my kits to see what I've got left in these to fit in other projects or kits, but I just think it's a really beautiful box. And then underneath, I always keep the strong chipboard card, and you can fit the cards and envelopes underneath there, so then you've got your flat to be able to put your boxes in. So as I say, I made the boxes to fit exactly the layout of this box. And because I've used quite a lot of the cards, there's quite a lot of depth on the top that I'm storing a few other bits and bobs in there. But I hope you liked that. Thank you very much for watching me. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll be back tomorrow with another project. Thank you. Bye.